What's going on, y'all? It's the Caveman back at it again with another video, and this time around I'm going to keep it a little shorter. I want to talk about something that I feel like would be relevant to a Bills fan like myself, being Ryan Fitzpatrick and the situation he is in Miami. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick has had a large impact on the city of Buffalo, on fans, on myself, as I watched him growing up. I started watching just around the time that he was in Buffalo. I have plenty of memories of him playing quarterback and watching him when I was younger. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, just as a whole, to Buffalo as a city, to the fans, to the franchise, I think he has a very, very, very big place in our hearts as Buffalo fans. So I felt like it was kind of fitting to talk about what's going on with him over in Miami and how kind of shitty it is for what they're doing to him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been benched, suddenly blindside benched by Brian Flores in the front office of Miami for their young rookie Tua Tagovailoa. And nobody really knows why, because Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins have been pretty damn good this year. They've been pretty red hot as of the last 2 weeks specifically, and they really have shown flashes of being a pretty damn good football team this year. They contended with Seattle for a lot of the game. They beat the 49ers. I get the 49ers a little depleted. They did lose to the Patriots. They also lost to the Bills, but those are also two very good teams. They beat Jacksonville, who's had their flashes, and they also beat the Jets, which, I mean, doesn't mean very much, but my point still stands. So why sit Ryan Fitzpatrick? For what he's done for you as a franchise this season and just as a whole, knowing how much he just comes to a franchise and impacts the team. So why did they blindside him the way they did? Nobody really knows. I have a couple theories that I'm going to talk about personally in a couple minutes, but first I just want to talk about how hot Ryan Fitzpatrick has been as of late. This season he's already thrown for 10 touchdowns and 1,500 yards. At the pace he's going, he will finish with 27 touchdowns. I mean, this is granted if he were to still be playing. He would finish with 27 touchdowns and about 4,000 passing yards. I think it'd be about 4,090 or so, somewhere in that ballpark. But the way he's going, 4,000 passing yards would be a career high, and 27 touchdowns would be just below his career high for when in 2015 he threw for 31 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, as well as 3,900 yards while he was over on the Jets with a 10-6 record. They just missed the playoffs that year. So he's on pace for some career stats, and I think 27 touchdowns is basically just kind of a floor, because if he just has a couple 3 or 4 touchdown games, he could very easily break that 30 touchdown benchmark. So the Dolphins are on a 2-game winning streak, and all of a sudden, they bench Fitzpatrick going into the bye week. They announce it before the bye week even hits. They say Tua Tagovailoa is going to be our starting quarterback going forward. And everybody, including Fitzpatrick, is stunned, shocked, heartbroken. It just doesn't make any sense to anybody, anywhere. I first just want to say is I respect the hell out of Fitzpatrick for just kind of coming out in interviews with his emotions, his true feelings. He's not really holding back about how he feels about the situation whatsoever. And I respect the hell out of him for that, because he's kind of revealing what's going on over there, and it's a hunk of shit. And he deserves better, because the guy, like I said, has had an impact everywhere he's been, and I'm sure he's impacting Tua tremendously as he's growing forward in the NFL. And to think that they would just kind of throw him out in the back like that, it just kind of doesn't make any sense to me. Sitting second in the AFC East, what could be their thinking benching Fitzpatrick? Now, here are my couple theories. My first theory is that Tua Tagovailoa was told at the beginning of the season, you will be starting after the bye week. But to counter that theory, to counter myself, why wouldn't you tell your current starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick, about that? Why would you just blindside him like that? That doesn't make any sense. It's pretty fucking shallow to do to somebody that's starting on your team. So, I mean, that is a theory, but I can't imagine that would be true. Why would you not tell Ryan Fitzpatrick? I mean, he's come out and said he's heartbroken, he's blindsided. This team has had such an impact. He feels like he's the leader of this team. He feels like this is his team for the first time since he's been in Buffalo. I mean, he's mentioned Buffalo 3 or 4 times this season already, and that's why I feel like it's fitting to make this video. Just like, he obviously showed emotions of sadness, heartbreak. So I can't imagine that that's the reason, since they would tell Fitzpatrick that they were planning on playing Tua after the bye. I mean, right? Like, that's just common sense. My other personal theory is that they kind of are having Josh Rosen PTSD in kind of a different sense. What I mean by that is they traded for Josh Rosen last year, pre-2019, and he was on their team, and they were thinking maybe, you know, we got him from the Cardinals. He didn't have a great stint on the Cardinals. Obviously, that team was dog shit at the time, so maybe we could bring him in. It could be a little different. Obviously, that was their thinking. So they bring Josh Rosen in. The team's got awful, and he starts, I think, 3 games he started. I think he made an appearance in about 6 games total, and it was a dumpster fire over there. I mean, I think they started off the season 0-5. I don't think they finished with 5 wins, maybe 6 wins. So they brought Josh Rosen in. They kind of threw him to the dogs. They threw him into the fire of what was the Miami Dolphins last year. And I feel like they don't want to do that to another rookie. Not a rookie. Josh Rosen wasn't a rookie, but they don't want to do that to another young quarterback. Could be their thinking, which is a little more plausible, is just the fact that they're doing well right now. So maybe Tua can just kind of mold his way into where Fitzpatrick was and just kind of step in, and it won't be any different, instead of, throwing him into a dumpster fire. I don't think they just want to throw rookie quarterbacks into the worst situation possible. We have seen many different quarterbacks, many different young quarterbacks get thrown onto dog shit teams, into dog shit scenarios, and just to have their situation and their career just kind of phase out, just as Josh Rosen did. So maybe they're thinking, we bring Tua in when things are going very well. He'll just kind of fill in the role of Fitzpatrick and just kind of mold his way in there, and he'll be able to compete because the team around him is playing well and the team has momentum behind them going to the bye week. That could be the only thing that would make sense to me, is that they are hoping he's just able to kind of carry that momentum on without getting eaten alive. But to counter that point as well, they're throwing him against the best interior defensive lineman to ever play the game of football when they play the Rams in Week 8. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you're going to throw in somebody who has injury history into a Tagovailoa against the Rams. The Rams, who have a monster defensive front in Aaron Donald alone. That's all you need is Aaron Donald, not a defensive line. If you have Aaron Donald, your defensive line is automatically top 3. So that's throwing a rookie to the wolves, all right. I mean, Miami's a good team. They're hot right now, but they're not that good just to throw them against Aaron Donald. I think Tua will compete, but for this to be his first NFL starting debut, that's very questionable. So both theories I've made, I've had a counterpoint to. So what is the real reason? The answer is I don't know. I really don't have a fucking clue what they're thinking over there. And they blindsided the fuck out of Fitzpatrick, and I feel so horrible for him because he actually was doing very well. He was playing very well for his career just as a whole. He feels like they were doing very well, which they were. He wanted to continue to carry them and even have some playoff success in his career, which obviously he's never had because he's been all over the NFL on shit teams, and that's why he's been on teams, is because they've really had nobody else. But he's always made an impact, and this is where he's making an impact, and he finally felt like this was his team. And he just got completely ripped out of it. And it's just so heartbreaking, man. He deserves so much fucking better. So let me know what you guys think down below. It is a very interesting, weird, and sad situation what's going on over there for Fitzpatrick. But I do hope the best for Tua. I hope he has a good career. I hope this doesn't bite him in the ass. I do hope it bites Miami in the ass, but I hope it doesn't hurt Tua in any sense of the word. I do hope that something happens where they realize, like, oh shit, we win that game with Fitz in, or oh shit, this season goes different if we finish with Fitz. I hope just kind of something like that happens for Fitz to kind of sit back and say, like, yeah, see, you needed me more than you thought, just to kind of have that different kind of satisfaction. I know Fitz is rooting for Tua all the way. That's just the kind of guy he is. He's going to support Tua the whole way and support the decision. But at the same time, just as in human nature, you're just going to want to have Brian Flores and the Miami front office kind of look back and say, well, we fucked up. So let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see y'all later in the next video. Peace.